Hello, you've just entered the witch's lair. I'm Raven Lavina, and it means so much to me that you've stopped by. So please, make yourself comfortable, and let's just get right to it. How do I begin this? How the fuck do I begin to explain what has been happening to me? By the title, you know what I did. I fucking asked for a stupid-ass Ouija board from fake-ass Santa Claus. I guess the logical thing is to explain why I did this. It was the last week of November, and my kid brother decided that he wanted to write his list to Santa. I thought it was a little early, but I didn't really care. He started to run around the house looking for the tools to make the perfect card, as he explained it. He had this annoying aura around him as he did this. It was his dumb voice and how he just kept asking me where he could find the supplies. He just kept talking, non-stop. To make him shut up, I almost told him the truth. Santa doesn't exist. But before I could tell him, he looked at me with puppy dog eyes and begged, "Please write one too." A wave of guilt washed over me as I realized what I was about to do. "Some of the kids made fun of me after telling them I was going to write a letter to Santa. You can use my favorite crayon," he said, as he handed me a piece of paper and a blue crayon. I felt even guiltier and realized I was part of his test. If I didn't write this letter, he would know Santa didn't exist. I didn't want to kill his childhood innocence. Not yet, at least. After all, he still had a good amount of years to still believe in the idea of a world with magic and possibilities. I grabbed the paper and crayons. "Looks like they're not getting presents then," I said as I started to write on the letter, "Dear Santa." My brother happily looked at me and started writing his own letter. Staring at the paper, I felt stupid. I knew this letter was just a waste of time, but I had to play along. Then, a hilarious thought came into my mind. At least it was hilarious at the time. What if I asked for a fucking Ouija board? Use a waste of time letter asking for a waste of time board game. Being a skeptic, or at least I was, it was funny in my twisted mind. After writing the letters, my brother took both and put them in envelopes. The next day, my mom took them to the post office. Fast forward to yesterday, Christmas Eve. I woke up to find a present placed on my computer desk. It was wrapped in green and red wrapping paper. On the name card it said, "From Santa." I didn't know what to think. I mean, it was just there like whoever left it wanted me to open it right away. So that is exactly what I did. As I ripped the wrapping paper, my fucking heart stopped. It was a simple wooden box with the word Ouija carved in it. I opened up the box to reveal an Ouija board made with a darker wood. The carvings on the board seemed like someone just carved into the board with a knife. The planchet was just a plain shot glass. I quickly closed the box and stashed it under my bed. I knew this couldn't be from my mom. She hates this type of shit. Then I thought, maybe my brother read my letter and got this box somehow. I went to find him and asked if he got me a present and left it on my desk, but he had no clue what I was talking about. I forgot about the Ouija board for most of the day. It wasn't until 9 p.m. when I was in my room that I remembered about the board. I opened the box and took out the board and planchet. There wasn't anything special about them, so I placed them on the desk and started inspecting the box better. While looking at the box for any additional information, I said to myself, "This is fucking stupid." Suddenly, I saw movement out of the corner of my eye. I quickly looked and saw the planchet moving around on the board. My heart started beating faster in my chest, but I tried to think logically. There must have been some electronics in them, and the simplicity of the board and the planchette was just some type of ruse. I moved closer to the board and saw the planchette moving to the letters T-O-M, my name. It must have been programmed for me. Maybe it's voice activated, I thought. Yes, I'm here. Hello, the board replied back. I must admit, I was getting interested. This was actually kind of fun. Who are you? I am Santa. Who sent me this present? Me. Why? It is what you wished for. Can I do anything for you? Put your hands on the board. I stood there, frozen. This was just a silly trick board. Nothing would happen if I actually put my hands on the board. But something deep in my mind knew better. It fucking tried to warn me. Put your hand on the board. Put your hand on the board. Put your hand on the board. It kept repeating it faster and faster along with my racing heartbeat. The movement of the planchette was so demanding, almost hypnotizing. Each time the phrase was repeated, my fear level raised, but I found myself moving closer to the board. My hands were just above the board. The truth finally clicked in my mind as I tried to move. I couldn't. Something wasn't right. I wasn't in control. No, please stop. Why do you want this? Put your hands on the board. Put your hands on the board. Put your hand on the board. And with that, my hand touched the board. I could feel the room spinning, and I started to break out in a cold sweat. All of a sudden, my body felt weak, and I fell onto the floor. In the distance, I could hear deep, growling laughter. I woke up to the sounds of my mom screaming her brains out. I ran downstairs, and my feet splashed in a puddle of water leading from the downstairs bathroom. There, I saw my mother on the floor crying hysterically. I walked in to see my brother, lifeless, body face down in the bathtub. The events that followed were just a blur. I called the ambulance. They came. The cops came. They questioned us. My brother was dead on the scene, but my mother went with the ambulance to be with my brother's lifeless body. The police ruled it an accidental drowning. I went back into my room and cried for hours. The morning finally came, and I had an urge to see the restroom my brother died in. My mother wasn't home yet, and I received no calls. In the restroom, I glanced in the mirror and noticed something different. My eyes. My fucking eyes. They were pure black. There were no pupils. I was panicking, but my first reaction was to touch the mirror, to see if there was anything wrong with it. Once my hands felt the surface of the mirror, a wave of memories flashed in my mind. I walked into the restroom. I saw my brother. He saw me. Before he could say something, I was using my hands to force him to stay underwater. It felt too easy. He felt so weak. It was like I was holding a pillow underwater. Guilt and fear ran through my body. I killed my brother, but I knew it wasn't me. It couldn't be. I mean, I wouldn't. I loved him, but I have the memories. Now, I've been in my room since then. I don't want to do anything out of the fear and confusion about what is going on. I have barely been able to type this out and to try to seek some answers. My mom hasn't come home yet, and maybe that's a good thing. The memories are haunting me. I have been repeating the same questions in my head. Did I kill my brother? Why did I kill him? Who sent me this fucking board? Now that I'm thinking about it, where is the board? Most of all, what the hell is going on? My. Ouija boards are not a game, and you can take that from a certified witch. Make no doubt about it, there are dire consequences for playing with a Ouija board, as you can tell from this story. I do hope that you don't find yourself tempted to go ahead and play with one thinking that it is a game. If you stayed with me this long, I greatly appreciate it. If you could, give me a subscribe, hit that thumbs up button, and leave me a comment. Let me know what you think of Ouija boards. Do you think that they're a game? Until next time, you are now free to leave the witch's lair.